Thank you so much for staying tuned. Well, it's about time you get to hear from our analysts, yes, on what they feel about subsidy removal, talking about the NLC and, of course, civil society stand. Is it going to have any impact when the government of the day makes up, their mind to remove subsidies? Some call it evil. Yeah, some are saying it doesn't exist. Some are just saying this is phantom. But presidency says, look, for us to survive economically, we have to remove subsidy. Don't forget that the man at the helms of affairs, before he became Mr. President, he also alluded to the fact that there's nothing like subsidy. I mean, Nigerians, how will I put it now? They believed that particular comment. But right now, he said, really, there is subsidy. But like saying we are all humans, one can make mistakes. So since there's subsidy, what to do? And they are saying that it's dragging the economy down. Some of the opinion that, look, is because 2023 is around the corner, looking for a way to save money to really go into politicking. That's the reason why they choose to remove subsidy now. Some of the opinion that if you take out that subsidy, it is going to be, in quote right now, hell on earth for Nigerians because things will be so difficult for them. What's your take in all of this assertion? Do you believe in what the federal government is talking about, saving the economy? Do you believe in what Labour, TUC, civil society organization, they're clamoring for, save the people? What's your stand on this? And no matter your stand, is it going to have any effect on a decision of subsidy removal? With me here in the studio is a legal practitioner, a human rights activist, public affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Barrister Emmanuel Obakbolo. Barrister, welcome to TMI Sunday's edition. I appreciate your coming.
Good morning, Nigerians, and good morning, Wilson.
All right, so very close to him. He is a labor devotee, a human rights activist, political analyst, and of course, he is among those that impact knowledge, on many Nigerians. Join me to welcome Morning Mike Modesty to our welcome to TMI on this edition. I appreciate your coming.
Good morning, Wilson. Good morning, viewers.
All right. This seesaw thing, or these how will I put it now, the up and down thing between the federal government and, of course, Nigerians, some subsidy removal has been on. But this time around, after the shake-up, so to speak, of Labour saying if you do that, we're going to go on, a protest that may just ground the economy. They shifted ground. They told Nigerians that they should get set because by June, there'll be no going back. Barrister Emmanuel Obakbolo, as a legal practitioner and, of course, a human rights activist, what do you feel about this?
We say thank you very much. Historically, the fuel subsidy regime, as it is now known and identified in Nigeria, has been on the news right from the military regime. And at that epoch, we thought that the military was only, the military can just come up and make a decree at any time. A sole administrator can make a decree. The head of state can make a decree, as it were, at that time. So we thought it was just another feast of the military on the people, as military regime is unpopular. So during the democratic dispensation just now, that started 29th May 1999, the subsidy regime continued. But one question that is begging for answer from the politicians is, if the refineries are working, the 4 refineries are working, and other refineries are built to complement the ones we already have, would there still be subsidy? And we've asked this question many times, and the government, the politicians are not responding to the question. And we keep hearing subsidy. Before 29th May 2015, this administration, headed by President Muhammadu Buhari, did tell us that there is nothing like subsidy, that subsidy is a scam, in his words. But today, we hear him and members of his kitchen cabinet keep telling us that there is need for subsidy removal. Now, who lied to Nigerians? Now, who is telling the truth to Nigerians? Because the then President Ebele Goodluck Jonathan did say he wants to remove subsidy in totality. And that was where this administration came and said, no, there is nothing like that. It does not exist. It only exists in the imagination of that administration. But today, they are telling you and me, they are telling Nigerians, they are telling the whole world that subsidy does exist and subsidy has a structure in Nigeria, and as such, it should be destroyed. And the only way to destroy it is to remove it in totality, and the hardship will be on the people of Nigerians again. Are these people not sitting down to tell themselves the truth? Look at the hardship today. We'll see, if you get to the market this morning and buy a tuber of yam for 1,000 naira, if you go in the afternoon, you will not buy that tuber of yam for 1,000 naira again. See the hardship. People can barely feed. Those days we say, oh, if you can afford 2 square meal. Today, a square meal is glorious. People cannot afford a square meal again. And the government is not thinking of how to better the life of Nigerians. None of the refineries is working in Nigeria. This administration told us before their emergence that they were going to fix, they were going to build more refineries, but today nothing. Yet they kept telling us that there is need for subsidy removal. And NLC, Nigeria Labour Congress, as it is called, keeps romancing with the politicians. I don't see NLC doing any magic. I listened to Ayuba Wabad 2 days ago. I haven't listened to him. I lost more confidence in NLC because the direction, what I heard him saying, already the governors are engaging labor. At the end of the day, there will be a compromise among them, and the body will be on Nigerians. And these men don't give a damn. They don't care whether Nigerians are surviving or whether Nigerians are dying. But thank God for God. If breath, God had put it in the hands of these our leaders, they would have kept it for themselves and their families alone. They don't bother what Nigerians are going through. They don't care. This election nearing year now, they will only come and tell people stories. Then they will share bread, they will share tin tomatoes, they will share Maggi, they will share salt. Even salt now, Wilson, that used to be the lowest commodity, is very expensive now. The other day I went to buy a sachet of salt, 200 naira for salt. In this country, a country where nature blessed, a country where Nigeria, God blessed, we have everything it takes. Naturally, we have everything it takes. Humanly, yet we are suffering because some persons are amassing wealth for themselves and their children and generations unborn. And Nigerians are suffering. Yet they are telling us subsidy removal again. So this subsidy has become a face in the lives of Nigerians.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Barrister Emmanuel Obakolo. Well, I want to take you as a comrade now, Money Mike. Modesty, he said he has lost confidence in Labour. He mentioned the leadership saying, look, he has lost confidence in them because they're not doing what they ought to do this time for Nigerians. Before you dive into that, what do you feel about this removal of subsidy?
Wilson, permit me to first and foremost respond to my brother here. He who wears the shoe knows where it pitches. He's entitled to his opinion, absolutely, but his opinion may not be the real thing that is on ground. I am not a spokesperson for the Nigeria Labour Congress, but I'm a product of the Nigeria Labour Congress, and I'm inside of the Nigeria Labour Congress. So there are a lot of things I will know, which he will not be opportune to know. In trade unionism, we believe in collective bargaining. Even when you have issues agitating for, and the people, your employer, so to speak, on the other side, decides to call you to the table to discuss, you are expected to make yourself available. In the course of discussions, you may be surprised pleasantly that the issues in agitation can be resolved on the table for the good of the generality of your people and the entire nation. That is how we roll in labor relations. And for NLC, NLC has been at the forefront, inclusive of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. These are two very formidable trade centers we have in this country that have always helped to carry the cross of the common man. But that is not to say when crosses are being carried and there is time to at least halt and rest, you don't halt and rest. If it becomes inevitable that you have to beat a retreat, you do, provided that retreat you are beating is also in the interest of the generality of society and the people you are representing. Fundamentally, he may not be opportune to have access to a lot of information, but because I'm an insider, to a great extent, I do know what is happening and what his labor is doing and is capable of doing. Removal of fuel subsidy, organized labor has been at the forefront of protesting against government's ill-informed decisions all these years. Between 1999 to date, Nigeria as a country has spent trillions, hundreds of trillions of naira, and by implication, hundreds of billions of dollars on turnaround maintenances of our refineries, so to speak. Every year they budget for them. To date, nothing has happened. Labor has never gone back on its ways. It emphasizes the need for our refineries to be turned around. Well, not too long, we were told that some billions of dollars have now been voted for the Port Harcourt refinery. They are working on them right now. And there has always been this media propaganda here and there that we have licensed modular refineries. People have even taken licenses to build and operate refineries. But for donkey years, these things never came to the forefront or actualized. The destination we are today, as always, so to speak, is that where we have to export our crude, refine them, and get them back at international market prices. Therefore, we are a people who are busy living at the bank of the rivers, and washing our hands with spittles. Very, very unfortunate. The destination we are also has to do with total inability of leaders to really understand the economic workings of the petroleum sector. Like he said narratively and historically, you will recall that we were told in 2015 that first subsidy by Jonathan's administration was a scam, and that when Buhari's administration comes on board, petrol will be sold at 45 naira, $1 will exchange for 1 naira, so on and so forth.
Those are campaign promises.
Yes, campaign promises. In fact, those are social contracts that the government is supposed to be held responsible and accountable for. But we were also foolish, all of us, so to speak, technically speaking. We were also foolish because the government did not put itself in power. We voted for the government. We returned the government. If by 2019 we discovered that these things were never achieved and we folded our hands akimbo and decided to go back to return the state government, who are you blaming? Is it Buhari or you blame yourself? We are all involved in this. We have all caused very serious havoc economically and otherwise for this country. So we can't run away from it. Whether directly or indirectly, we are involved in this. But that is not to say we shall continue to remain in this forever or ad infinitum. My position is that, yes, removal of fuel subsidy is a no-go area for now. It's a no-go area for now. Personally, if you ask...
Because they're talking about the economy right now, salvaging the economy.
The economy is already a collapsed economy. It's a collapsed economy. We really don't have a positive economy in the real sense of it. And let me tell you, petroleum product is a major determinant of the pricing index as far as all goods and services are concerned. A major determinant of the pricing index as far as all goods and services, even up to offerings in our churches. What you give to the beggars. What you give to the beggars. If you used to give the beggar 5 naira and the beggar values 5 naira, Now to you, 5 naira is not, even the other, the little baby doesn't recognize 5 naira to be anything. 20 naira is not to the little baby. So you discover that if the thing becomes so bad, now 1,000 naira can no longer buy you a module of Gary that 50 naira, 100 naira used to buy. Then what are you talking about? Now you have not removed subsidies like this. Petrol is selling at 165, 162. Now you are proposing 302. A bag of rice is 30 over 30, our local rice. We are not even yet sufficient production of rice. The one we are producing, the people don't have easy access financially to it. Minimum wage is 30,000. 30,000 cannot buy a bag of rice. The man whom you pay 30,000 as a worker will go and rent an apartment, let's say 1 room self-contained, and in a year the person is expected to cough out as much as 270,000 naira. He has a child or a wife and a child. They have to go for medical services in government hospitals that are not working, and they are giving prescription papers to go to pharmacy shop to go and buy drugs. And their minimum wage for 6-7 months cannot even buy the drugs that they have been recommended. These children have no access to government prepared school, except for some states that are trying their best now. That will go there free of charge. They have no access to clean drinking water of their own. They have no access to anything. No access to anything. We are now in a country where the middle class has been completely eliminated. It is not a war between the downtrodden. The middle class has even succumbed to the downtrodden level. It is not a war between the downtrodden, middle class, inclusive with the downtrodden, and the upper class. Unfortunately, even the upper class, in the business environment, they are not finding it easy. Industries are folding up. Workers are being laid off here and there. Unemployment is far, far top of the roof. Inflation is far over the sky. And you have the effrontery and the temerity to contemplate removing fuel subsidy. How many modular refineries have been built since the coming of Mr. President? Where are they located? What is their production capacity? But let me tell you, they are systematically looking towards Dangote refinery. That they are hoping will come on stream in June.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that.
You see, even when God bless Dangote as a company, even when Dangote comes on stream, Dangote is not only going to service Nigeria. What stops all those who obtain refinery licenses? Right. What are the militating factors that made them not to build? For me personally, if all things are equal, ceteris paribus, nothing stops government at the appropriate time, with the concession of everybody, from removing subsidy. But there is no country in this world where there are no subsidies. Subsidies could be in agriculture, subsidies could be in health, subsidy could be in form of education, subsidy could be in form of industry, so on and so forth. Right. They had mentioned to us that if they remove subsidy, the poorest of the poor, so to speak, I don't know who is the poorest of the poor now because all of us are in that category. The poorest of the poor will be paid 5,000 naira. Arithmetically, they were not so very sharp. And they discovered at the end of the day that the money they will even pay to the poorest of the poor, so to speak, will even be higher than the subsidy that they are talking about.
You just hold on now, Money Michael. You've spoken at length. You talked about the economy. Nigeria. Yeah, God definitely help Nigeria. Now, he said the economy is not doing well. Many may not really appreciate the adjective he used about the economy. Is it dead or downtrodden? I've forgotten.
We are operating a dead economy.
Okay, fine. But if you want to really go by that, which many may just disagree with, to resuscitate the economy, you have to remove subsidy. That is what the federal government is talking about. Barrister Emmanuel, take it up from there.
First and foremost, I don't need to be an inner caucus member of NLC to know that they are not doing their best. One thing about this country is, inclusive, we see people come on air, speak good English, speak all the grammar, convince, confuse the people, and at the end of the day, when we are now faced with what we ought to challenge, we now just give up. Over the years, we've seen the conspiracy between the political bourgeoisie and the economy, the Nigerian economy controlled bourgeoisie. It's a great conspiracy, and they've conspired to the extent that they take delight in seeing pains being inflicted on Nigerians. And that group, as the case may be, inclusive the labor union. The labor will now we come on air and tell us, like I did say, I haven't listened to Waba, good English, good statements, good facts. But when it comes to face that challenge, they begin to give up. Like I did tell you just now, already the governors in the states are engaging labor union. At the federal level, they are engaging labor union. Before you know, they will come out and tell Nigerians, you see, there is need, since we cannot buy it for 302 naira, let us just make it maybe a round figure 200 naira. Already, from the genesis, they have an agreed amount. They only told us that story, that this is what they want. At the end of the day, they have something they have agreed on. That has been the story. That has been the ball play. That has been the game plan. We are aware of it. Now, looking at the Nigeria economy today, can any person boast that Nigeria has an economy? Just like he did say, and I agree with him.
And they are heaping the blame on the subsidy.
Nigeria does not have any viable economy but a dead and collapsed economy. Let us.
And many will not agree to your comments. One of you are talking the same about the economy. They are talking about salvage in the economy. Remove the subsidy, will be okay.
Don't you have the impact? Are you not feeling it? This morning you came to the studio, despite the hammer time feelings, you still came. You trekked down to this place or you drove down to this place. How will it impact you? As a staff of this company, how does it impact you? It also impacts the company, ITV. It's being affected by the kind of economy these people claim they run for us. Like we said, they did promise us so many things in 2014. And just like my co-analyst here said, we did believe them, because as at that time they told us, they brought some revelations to us and painted it like masquerade and said, look, this is the masquerade we have for you people. But little did we know that, when you get to the supermarket, you will see the goods that you want to pick, but the price tag is hidden at the back. That was what these politicians did to us in 2014, 2015. They showed us the goods. Oh, change is coming. We all say, change is coming. Change, after all, is dynamic. It's not static. Let us embrace it. But the price tag is what we are paying today. They've shown us now the price tag, and they are bringing so many grammar, telling us so many stories. This subsidy would have been removed in this January, but they are also considering the elections. That is what they are looking at. They have their fears too. If we do this, these people, the way they kick out PDP in 2015, they may kick us out. So let us just play the game. And who are they playing the game with? It's the same labor, with all sincerity. In all sincerity, I am challenging the labor union not to accept these politicians this time. I am challenging them. And if with what my co-analyst is saying here is the truth, they should stand their ground and not shift any ground. That no, people who could hide Indomie for COVID-19 palliative, you are telling me that they are going to do something magical. I do not believe that. People, Indomie expires and they hid it. We saw the one in Benin here at all there. They hid it, or medical. They hid it. We saw all over the country, this assisted, FCT inclusive, under the nose of the president. They hid Indomie. Adults don't eat Indomie. If not for the economy situation, today adults are now rushing Indomie in Nigeria. We go after Indomie as a means of survival. Is that not what happens? So somebody cannot go and tell, see, Nigerians are suffering. Let us see, let us say the truth. Even if anything will say the truth, Nigerians are suffering.
All right.
There is no need for any subsidy removal. I believe Buhari, subsidy is a scam. I believe him. It's a scam, and there is nothing he will tell me just now that will change my mind that subsidy is not a scam.
Okay.
Look at the economy. Look at things going naturally. Things that nature bless us with. Look at the way these men are handling it. They borrow money to sponsor budgets in this country that is so rich. They borrow money to Tare, to Niger, in this country that is so rich, and they don't see all of this affecting. Now, what are we benefiting from the raid they took to Niger? The other day, somebody was asked our president, why Niger? You know what the president said? He said, where do you think we should take it to? Niger, an arid region where there is absolutely nothing. Even nature is angry with them because of their attitude.
All right.
That is where we choose to go.
All right.
Because somebody has an interest.
Okay, please now watch your emotions. These are say, please watch your emotions, okay? I know that discussing this kind of issue can really trigger emotions. Please, gentlemen, I really want to crave your danger, so please watch your emotions. They talked about politics, talked about economy, talked about 2023. All this geared towards 2023, as in the delay tactics, like what he alluded, that is because of the election that is forthcoming. Politicians, and he even mentioned Nigeria Labour Congress, that Labour may just be playing ball with these persons. What's your reaction to it?
Well, I don't think I'm in the studio to start having altercations with my colleague here.
But at least you can react to what he said.
Yeah, but the fact is that he's only trying to vent his anger the way he feels right now. And I will not say he shouldn't vent his anger.
Okay.
But notwithstanding, the anger should be constructively vented. Because when you are not in the place where a goat was slaughtered, you will say, so person just carried the head, carried the blockhouse, carried everything, come out. You were not there. But we are people, to understand, that are close to the scene where these things are happening. In as much as I wouldn't want to hold brief, because I'm not the spokesperson for Nigeria Labour Congress, like I said before, I'm an insider to an extent. And I'm not sitting here as a representative of Nigeria Labour Congress. I'm sitting here as your guest. I should be able to tell the entire viewers what I know and what I perceive and trust to be the correct position of things. Okay. He may have his feeling that in the past, certain things were not done well by organized labor. And that may be the foundation from where he's venting his anger. But to the best of my knowledge, I think we are doing a lot of things right.
All right, now you just hold on, hold on. After this break, you continue with your chain of thought. You're reacting to his own position about labor. Do not go away. We'll be right back. We want to make one or two adjustments to give the discussion, more analysts speaking their mind on a particular issue. We'll be right back. Do stay tuned. Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. If you just joined us, this is TMI. You can call it this morning on ITV. We're taking a look at subsidy removal, the impact of NLC and civil society stand. Is it going to make any difference? Because right now they are all talking tough. Joining us right now in the studio, he is a legal practitioner, a human rights activist, political analyst. Join me to welcome Barrister Dele Igbenedio. Barrister, welcome to Sunday's edition of TMI.
Thank you, Wilson, for
appreciate you coming.
Hello viewers, good to be here again.
All right. So, Money Mike, you were making your point. You talked about being an insider to an extent that you may not fully, agree to the ventilation, so to speak, of Barrister Emmanuel Obakolo. Please take it up from
While also concurring to the fact that he's entitled to his opinions.
Yes.
Notwithstanding, I think I need to now make all of us understand the fact that fundamentally, what we're talking about here is supposed to be an issue of organized labor. And organized labor is made up of NLC and TUC. So narrowing it down to the Nigeria Labour Congress is a kind of trying to butcher the organized labor into two. They are working in unison, and their spirit is unifying. To the best of my knowledge, I think the call right now that workers and the general population should gear up for a protest on the 27th of July is a nationalistic call, and no matter what anybody says. And let me also put it to you that, like I said before, in collective bargaining, in dispute resolution and others, whoever is agitated can be called to the table by the other party to say, please, let's talk. And if the governors are talking with congresses at their state level, it's a welcome development. It's a normal thing in our collective bargaining processes. But what we are saying, which is general to all of us, is that is not to say that the governors will be able to whittle down the powers of the state councils from taking out or implementing the instructions and decisions of the National Working Committee and National Executive Council of NLC and TUC. as a digression, a little bit digression from this, I also want to emphasize here that my brother is a lawyer. He belongs to the Nigeria Bar Association, and I'm happy that my seasoned legal luminary is in now, Barrister Dele Igbenedion. He's here. Why do we always sit down as professional organizations and allow NLC and TUC to carry the cross? There is no place where it is written all over the world or in any of the constitutions in the world that organized labor will always be at the forefront of agitation. We don't just do it, organized labor don't just do it alone. We do it with civil society organizations and other allies who join hands with us. By implication, we try as much as possible to have all the professional groups integrated so that we have a unifying fight. So we expect by now, even when the NLC is talking, we should expect also, with due respect to the NBA to also be so vociferous. With due respect to all other professional organizations, they must be vociferous. And they must be ferocious enough, positively ferocious enough, so that government will be hearing the sound beat from all directions. Not just as it used to be, NLC and TUC. It shouldn't be. Somebody started the turnaround in Tunisia. If the other person was not a trade unionist, somebody can lead from any perspective, from any background. You can lead. The market women can. You remember the Aba riot? You remember the one that happened many years back? Anybody can lead. Notwithstanding, let's not come to the political coloration that he has given to it from his perspective. That is because of next year's election. They are afraid, on one hand, that the government in power may be booted out, or let us do some other things. For me, what is germane to the average Nigerian, or to the downtrodden Nigerian as far as this issue is concerned, is that removal of subsidy is a no-go area. How much is 12.5 kg of gas right now, when we have the abundance? How much is kerosene right now, when we have it in abundance? How much is diesel right now, when we have them in abundance? Now, kerosene is virtually common to every household in our remote villages, and the price at the rooftop. Petrol is universal to all of us. As it is, with 12.5 kg going for as much as 9,000 and others, when we have abundance of these products here, gifted to us by God, even you are saying desert encroachment is coming here and there, no more deforestation, and you are putting a lot of additional wahala on the people to even go contrary to the preaching of no more cutting of trees here and there. Energy, they need energy to power their houses and do a lot of things in the villages. If they cannot afford kerosene, they cannot afford gas, traditionally they have to have everything back to what they are used to. Felling of trees, cutting of small trees, and they use them. Then desertification that you are crying about will envelop the whole place. So it is a no-no, it's a no-no.
All right.
But should it be on the ground that we have a lot of modular refineries coming on stream, the product is flowing, if international market price as it is now is over 80, and we have our products here being sold for 15 naira per liter because all the refineries, both physical and imaginary, become functional, and the product is flowing everywhere, there will be no wahala. Government, you can remove subsidy and channel such funds to either education, health, road, and so many other things.
All right.
For me, there was a time they wanted to privatize our refineries then. Labour also stood against it. As it is today, for me, if we had known, then we would have even preferred to say privatize it and let them be functional. If they are functional, they are buying at local price, refining at local price, and the product is available to all of us in Nigeria. I am sure it would have been far cheaper.
Okay, Money Maker, I will come back to you. All right, Barrister Dele Igbenedion, I believe that you have ample knowledge on this particular discourse, talking about revolt subsidy, the impact of the stand of NLC, civil society. But Money Mike talked about is not only labor should be in the forefront, so to speak. He gave an example of what happened in Tunisia. A young man started, you know, the turnaround. Some people call it Arab Spring, but others call it the turnaround of that particular region. All right, and moreover, he talked about NBA. They can also join forces with the labor. You just name it, coming together to stand up against the removal of subsidy. But what are your feelings about this subsidy removal issue? Let's start from there.
Well, thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to speak. My feelings, my personal feelings, usually would be sort of shock and total dismay that the president will contemplate this, thought at this time. One would have expected that he would be progressive-minded. He would be people-oriented. He would be, in the closing days of his presidency, he would try at least to pretend, even if he cannot realistically and really be, to pretend to like the Nigerian people. At least pretend a little bit and try to introduce measures and policies that will benefit the people. Nigerians have suffered immensely under this man, and it's a very sad tale that what he's thinking about now is how to remove this subsidy. So for me, it's a personal tragedy. I weep for a country like this with abundant resources, but a scarcity of mentality of leaders. Those in whom we hope usually come up short. They are tall in plans and very short in execution. And it's very, very unfortunate that this country should be a leading country in the world, but it is now a laughingstock. Recently, the United Kingdom just grouped us together with countries that they should ban, people coming into their country. It's amazing how low the country has fallen, and our leaders are not doing anything, to try to ameliorate that. Both at the executive and the legislative level, they are the ones that actually pilot the policy. So while President Buhari is conceiving this, I'm sorry to use the word satanic ideas, the legislative members are just, kowtowing to it, and it's very, very unfortunate. So for me, I feel very sad. I feel very depressed, because I can understand the feelings of the average Nigerian, the suffering they are going through. And now that suffering is going to be compounded again. So for me, it's not good news at all. But coming to the topic, which is the stand of
NLC and of course society,
for me, I also find that the NLC has long ceased to be the NLC. With due respect, they've long ceased to be the NLC. A few years ago in this state, I used to see one NLC chairman riding around in very big jeep, and when he left as NLC chairman, he went away with the jeep. So you see him still riding around town, with the big jeep. I'm not saying that you shouldn't ride jeep as a chair, but when you sell out totally and you begin to collect everything collectible from, we all are agitators, and we all get these offers, we get these, temptations every time. And you know that the moment you collect one, you are finished. And that is the problem of the NLC today. I don't even know if they have an organization between the NLC and the TUC. Of course, the bifurcation of the NLC into the NLC and the TUC was one dagger into the heart of unionism. So that one succeeded. They allowed it because of their personal selfish needs. So they became two. And so now, instead of speaking with one voice, they have to struggle first to get a united voice. And now, you want to confront something that you've always kowtowed to. We know how it works. The presidency says we are going to increase it to 400. You come and negotiate, they bring it down to 250. Originally, their intention was 150. But they tell you 400. You come and negotiate. No, it must not be. It must be. Okay, let's do 250. So, they've won. We know that's what's going to happen now. Just write it down. That's what is going to happen.
Are you a prophet or what? Can you see the future?
They know where they are going to settle, the figure they are going to settle in. And then so they raise the bar, and they know the natural reaction of the NLC people will be like he has said, call out people, deliver speeches. They call them into a meeting with the Minister for Labor and Minister of State for Labor, hold some meetings and say, okay, it's all right, let's just, find, and then they will find out appearing, and then everything will continue as normal. So we are used to it and we expect it to happen. So the Nigerian people are actually not looking up to the NLC. The stand the NLC is taking is their personal stand. It's the stand that they feel will benefit them. They are not speaking for the Nigerian people. They are not speaking for the Nigerian workers. In this state, there was a time when civil servants were not paid salaries for 7 months. What did the NLC do about it? They didn't do anything about it. Nothing. They were comfortable with it. So, and that situation has continued till now. They were not paid their salary till today. So, with due respect to my brother and his pontifications, I think we come to a point in this country. I like us to face the truth. The NLC is not working anymore. Civil society has largely taken over the role of agitation. Now, he made a point about the NBA. I don't speak for the NBA. I'm not an official of the NBA, so they have their PROs. But from my personal point of view, the NBA is not a workers' organization. It's not a workers' organization. I mean,
are you not saying that they don't have a stake in this?
Well, they have.
Are they not Nigeria?
Are they not in Nigeria?
No, but try to understand. We talked about the NBA. The NBA, Nigerian Bar Association, is not a workers' organization.
But they are all Nigerians.
They are it's a professional organization.
They are Nigerian.
The agitation we're talking about is not workers' agitation.
He has the floor. He has the floor. He has the floor.
Understand the difference.
Okay.
Let me land.
Okay.
Let me land.
Okay.
Why you cannot look to the NBA because it is not a workers' organization. The majority of the members of the NBA will not feel the pain as much as the Nigerian workers will feel the pain. The majority of the membership of the NBA are what I would call they are producers of services. Let's put it like that. They would always transfer the cost of their services to a third party to pay. Unlike the Nigerian worker who has nobody to transfer. I mean, if you increase cost of fuel, for example, and a client wants me to come to court, I'll just increase the cost of me going to court, and he will pay it, or I'm not going to show up. So that is the take of the NBA. But for the teacher who is paid a wage, a monthly wage, who is he going to transfer that cost to? Nobody. He must take out from his earnings the increased cost to get to work and back. Otherwise, he will get fired. So that is why you cannot equate the NLC and the NBA. I don't know if you get my question. With due respect, you can't equate. For example, a senior advocate of Nigeria who is a member of the NBA, you expect him to come out to the street. Yes, I've always said it that the vision of the NBA is not for Nigerians. It's not for workers. It's not for the common people. Try to understand it. It's not, and I've said it on a lot of. That's the vision of the NBA. You look, many people who drive the vision of the NBA don't feel what they work. I mean, as we are speaking, many of them are in London. They are on holidays.
So you're saying that they are the bourgeois right now? Is that what you're saying?
That's the way
and the economy doesn't affect them. So they should feel less concerned about what is going on in the country.
I'm not saying they should feel less concerned. I'm only saying.
But that's the picture you're painting right now.
We can't look to them.
Dr. Osagi Obayiwana, is he not of the NBA? Has he not always been there at the forefront for human rights and others?
Okay, all right.
Let us. I think Barrister is always trying to be protective and economical.
Okay, just hold on. You have time to react. So go ahead, Barrister.
Dr. Osagi Obayiwana is a good friend of mine. I also know that he's a politician. You know, he contested the election.
But he was a member of the NBA.
Ever before he became a politician.
So there's always.
Hold on.
He's never represented the NBA.
But still, he's a member of the NBA.
Yeah, he is a member of the NBA.
All right, and he's at the forefront. Okay.
We have that, and don't forget that when push came to shove in terms of getting government to obey court order, he fell short. You remember the history? Yes. He fell short.
Anyway,
we don't forget this.
Anyway, hold on.
Few days here, he led the protest as far as the petroleum issue is concerned.
Please hold on. He has the floor. talking about inflation, he's going to defend himself, so let's leave that part out of this discussion, please.
He brought him in as a shining example. I am saying that the NLC should re-examine itself,
all right,
and figure out what exactly it wants to do. Civil society organization is a different thing entirely. We have a mixed mash of people there. So, and the government and the executive arm of government understands this, that there is no unison in terms of the, what I would call opposing forces to this idea. But it's a terrible thing to conceive of increasing this cost of petroleum products. It's a terrible thing. But unfortunately, it's a free field for them. There are no opposition.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Delik Benedo. You've spoken at length, bringing out your point, speaking your mind, the way you perceive things about the NBA, the NLC, TUC, you just name it. Now, to you, Barrister Emmanuel Obakwalo, Barrister Delik Benedo raised some valid points, which Money Mac didn't really felt comfortable with, but he's going to react to the person.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, so doesn't that mean that the NBA is not part of Nigeria?
My learned senior George,
that is a question.
They are not going like lawyers now. My learned senior also said something.
The issue is this. What my learned senior just opined now is not different from what I said, even when he was not here.
About the NBA, because I talked about the NBA.
About the labor.
The labor, yes.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
An average Nigerian on the streets understand the politics played by the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress.
But hold on, sorry to interject. Don't forget that when President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, then former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan wanted to increase fuel, everyone came out.
Yes, even President Buhari came out. Whether
you are a doctor, you are a medical practitioner, you are a religious leader, they all came out. This is our fight.
And that one was not even sponsored by NLC.
Money Mike, please, hold on. They came out and said, this is our fight. Yes. They all came out. So how come you want to separate NBA from the struggle?
Listen, first and foremost,
yes,
the protests led by Buhari and others,
yes,
between 2014 and 2015 was under the umbrella of a group called the Save Nigerian Group. Is that not?
Yeah.
Good.
And it's for one cause.
He did not say Nigerian Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress, or Nigerian Bar Association.
But they all came out in mass.
You have asked if I understand where you are going to.
Okay.
Now, the present situation, circumstances, who is taking the stand? Is it the Save Nigerian Group or the Nigerian Labour Congress that is taking a stand now? Which of them? Your topic suggests the answer already. It is the Nigerian Labour Congress, their stand, and that is what we are discussing. If you want to tell me NBA stand, I am not the PRO of NBA, but I can speak for NBA, though I'm not holding brief for them. NBA has a stand, but that is not the subject of discussion just now. And I want to tell you,
and it's wrong for us to bring it into play right now.
The NBA will never succumb to this policy of subsidy removal. The NBA will not. Because the impact too will be on the NBA. Just like my learned senior said, the NBA is not a workers' union. It's a professional body. And as such, they have their modus operandi. But the Labour Congress is a what? A workers' union. And he has just given the simple analysis of how it affects the worker and the professional. Are you getting me? So, looking at the present situation and the subject for discussion, we are not against the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress. No, we are not against them. What we are saying is that over the years, it has shown that when they come up with a stand such as this, they don't take that stand. At the end of the day, there is this romance between them and the government. We saw, to be precise, if my memory judges me correctly, in 2004 or 2005, then a protest against fuel increase was led in this state by Comrade Adam Soshomole. Yeah. I also trekked from Uniben. I followed the group from Uniben to Government House. While we were at Government House, outside the Government House waiting, we never knew that Oshomole was already inside the Government House. And we saw the governor's convoy past us at the gate. Oshomole was inside. I'm saying it with all sincerity and facts available to me.
Okay, but listen, still there was a protest.
Listen.
But still there was a protest.
There was a protest.
And there was result in that protest.
And do you know that protest did not yield any result? Because the situation then in Edo State continued. The then governor did not even, we didn't even hear anything, he died a natural death. Why am I saying that? Is that the Labour Congress has a kind of politics they play, bargain they also play for their own interest. I told you just now, I haven't listened to Waba 2 days ago, the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, or rather the factional president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, because we know that they have factions now.
No. For now, that is the result.
Okay,
yeah.
now they will say, tell you nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
Then we know what is going on.
According to a report, is the result. So please, let's go.
There is no
faction. You don't need to mention names, please. Let's
when
continue.
you are a lawyer, you must speak with facts. And if you don't have it,
yes,
I'm privileging you now. There's something like that.
Okay.
Hello? Whether or
I'm
not,
authoritatively telling you nothing
whether
like
or not they have factions,
like
I listened to the man. And all he said suggests this bargain at the close of the day. I'm just telling you. The federal government is looking at Dangote refinery to take all these steps they are taking. I'm just telling you.
But they've not said that.
They will not say tell you.
Don't you think you are like presuming?
See, this government of
even Money Mike said the same thing also, but are you guys not just presuming that this may just happen?
We saw in this country some time ago where somebody, a president of this country, was proud to tell the whole world that before my emergence as the president, that non-Nigerian was the richest African. We saw it. But immediately I emerged as the president, a Nigerian became the richest African. The simple arithmetic is, how many are Nigerians?
Okay.
Where you have only one man. Right. Today, one man controls the economy of Nigeria. He produces Indomie, he produces tin tomato, he produces salt, and now he's producing fuel for Nigerians. And people are saying that, oh, don't condemn me, don't criticize. Instead, what you do, you plug yourself into the socket of how this man is controlling the economy. I will not give a room to that.
Okay, thank you.
Listen.
Thank you. I wouldn't want to go by NLC, please. I wouldn't want to go by that NLC that this is like, you know, a hypothesis which have not been proven yet. Okay, so let's just leave it at that. It's not here to speak for himself. Let's leave Dangote out of this.
Nigeria has a blanket economy.
Hold on now. Over to you now, Money Mike. Several comments were made by Barrister Dele Gbininu, and of course, supported by Barrister Emmanuel Obakbolo. It's your turn now to react about the Labour Congress. Take it up from there.
Okay, just give me the benefit of saying something as per his last comment. All robust and working economies of the world are controlled by the private sector. So if Dangote is helping us to control the economy of Nigeria, I give him kudos. And we need to have more of him so that they can control the economy of Africa. I be that as it may. I really don't. Hold on.
Has the floor.
Now, listen.
Hold on.
Now, listen.
He has the floor.
Listen very well. Listen very well.
Continue, please.
I'm not only just a trading honest. Yes. To a great extent, I'm an economist. Okay. I don't just believe in rabble-rousing or rabble-rousing talks. I talk with facts. The big names you hear all over the world, they control the economies of their nations and even the economy of the world. Now, if there are lacunas somewhere that you feel are somehow inappropriate, you have the process of the rule of law to go about such lacunas, in your own opinion, to challenge what you feel is being done inappropriately. Let me tell you, if the government of Nigeria that is not able to manage our road economy, that is not able to manage our agricultural economy, that is not able to manage our health economy, that is not able to manage our industrial economy, decides to liberalize these sectors with transparent regulations, I can tell you, with transparent regulations, I can tell you that employment, job opportunities will be available to the teeming youth of Nigerians who are presently out of job. The multi-billion-dollar refinery being built is already churning out fertilizer, and that fertilizer is already going around the whole of Africa with Nigeria in mind. The cost of fertilizer from Dangote refinery in Nigeria is not the same in Cote d'Ivoire. The byproducts that will be turned out from that refinery, all those who will work there, we are talking of hundreds of thousands, directly and indirectly, that will benefit from it. I'm talking from the economic perspective. If, for instance, all those who looted Nigerian economy in the past invested such funds in Nigeria, no plea bargaining. Oh, we have even done plea bargaining, and these plea bargaining are usually done by the lawyer by themselves. They know. They also go to upturn things.
But the thing is that the big court for stemming the story, you wouldn't blame the lawyers for doing their job.
Listen, that's their profession. That's their professional practice.
Job they have to do.
That's their professional practice.
Yes.
If all those who looted Nigeria economy invested such funds in Nigeria economy, I'm telling you, even when government is pursuing them here and there, a lot of people will also be employed. And when government is able to make seizure, government can say, oh, in as much as we have a lot of this, let's take this and leave this. Right. It can also happen through plea bargaining.
All right.
For issue of petroleum subsidy, organized labor, and all the utterances they have made against organized labor, I usually will tell you, you didn't invite me here to come and stand as a spokesperson
for labor.
For labor. You invite me as your guest. It was when I got to the studio, I saw the specific. You understand what I'm saying? They are entitled to their opinions. They are entitled to their perceptions. They are entitled to their beliefs or what they feel about organized labor, whether in the past or in the present. But the organized labor that I'm part of, though not at the National Working Committee or at the top echelon, I know when instructions are passed, we have a way of going about it. And when we say we have declared an agitation, we do not say that agitation is being declared for war purpose. Organized labor has not declared any strike on petroleum product subsidy removal. Organized labor is only saying government intends to, and we want to show them the yellow card that should you contemplate and want to do it, we want to protest.
All right.
The economy is already on its knees, and a day of protest by organized labor takes the economy further down the drains. Government will try by all means to also avert the day of protest, of which billions of dollars will be lost. And if government decides to reach out to organized labor, the terms and conditions are on table, and they are found favorable with civil society allies and others, what is wrong about it? But to me, I am strongly of the opinion, I don't see this present agitation dovetailing into where some group of persons will sit for their own economic benefits, allow Nigerians to continue to wallow in abject poverty.
All right.
Notwithstanding,
all right.
I am talking as money my modesty, Itwa. I am not talking as the president of Nigeria Labour Congress.
Okay.
So the kola nut is stronger in the mouth of the elder. So Ayuba Wawa is the one who is authorized by law and all implications to speak for Nigeria Labour Congress.
Okay.
Likewise, his counterpart in the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria.
Thank you.
So if we are apprehensive that according to them, according to their own postulation, that nothing will come out of it, let us not be doubting Thomases.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, gentlemen. We have other guests in the studio to really throw more light on this. This is not the end of the discussion. You heard them. They spoke them on this particular issue. And they'll be talking some more because we have one or two persons to come share more light on this. I don't want this to be a kind of a case between NBA and Labour. I don't want that at all. I don't want that at all. But we are all Nigerians and we are looking at this issue from all angles. I really appreciate you, gentlemen, for coming on today's show. I appreciate the wonderful analysis. All right, you want to go for a break? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Advice to the public on the coronavirus. The World Health Organization, WHO, recommends you take the following measures. Know that most people who become infected experience mild illness and recover, but it can be more severe for others. Take care of your health and protect others by doing the following.
Regularly and thoroughly clean your hands with an alcohol-based hand sanitizer or wash them with soap and water. Washing your hands with soap and water or using alcohol-based hand sanitizer kills viruses that may be on your hands.
Maintain at least 1 meter, which is 3 feet distance between yourself and anyone who is coughing or sneezing.
Hands touch many surfaces and can pick up viruses. Once contaminated, hands can transfer the virus to your eyes, nose, or mouth. From there, the virus can enter your body and can make you sick.
Make sure you and the people around you follow good respiratory hygiene. This means covering your mouth and nose with your bent elbow or tissue when you cough or sneeze. Then dispose of the tissue immediately.
Stay home if you feel unwell. If you have a fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical attention and call in advance. Calling in advance will allow your healthcare provider to quickly direct you to the right health facility. If you develop fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical advice promptly, as this may be due to a respiratory infection or other serious condition.
Be informed.
Be prepared.
Be smart.
Be safe.
Be ready to fight COVID-19.
This message is brought to you courtesy Independent Television and Radio.
Admission. The Igbinedion College of Health Technology, Benin City, announces the commencement of admission of pioneer students into the School of Pharmacy Technician, Health Information Management, and Environmental Health for the 2022-2023 academic session. The courses are for 2 years and 3 years intensive training, leading to the award of Certificate in Pharmacy Technician, Diploma in Environmental Health Technician, Diploma in Environmental Health Technology, and Diploma in Health Information Management. Interested candidates into the college must possess a minimum of 5 credit passes in WAEC or NECO in mathematics, English language, biology, physics, and chemistry in not more than 2 sittings. Admission forms can be obtained at Igbinedion College of Health Technology, Benin, 122 Sapele Road, behind IUTH Benin Center, Benin City, with a non-refundable fee of 10,500 Naira bank draft made payable to the Igbinedion College of Health Technology, Benin. Candidates outside Benin should contact the school on ichtbenin@gmail.com or call 0706 192 9559 or 0807 98 555 for further directives. Entrance examination takes place on Monday, 21st of February 2022 at 10 a.m. prompt. Venue, Igbinedion College of Health Technology, Benin, 122 Benin Sapele Road, behind IUTH Benin Center, Benin City, Nigeria. Successful candidates will be contacted for a selection interview. Igbinedion College of Health Technology, Benin. Knowledge for healthcare excellence. Signed, Edobo Uyorosa, Registrar.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI, where we get to talk about current affairs, political issues. You just name it, making the round. But today's like we are zooming in more on the proposed removal of subsidy, talking about the NLC and, of course, civil society organizations stand, the implication, the impact they will have. Will their stand have any implication in subsidy removal? Would they be listened to? What they used to be? That is what we're really talking on this particular issue, but it's been buttressed on this platform that removal of subsidy, they are not in support of it. But what about the key players in the fight against subsidy removal? How do you think they'll fare in this battle? Because this is the first time we talked about subsidy removal. And here joining us right now in the studio is another legal practitioner. He has this affiliation for international relations and the rest of them. When we talk about activism, he's in there. Join me to welcome Barrister Patrick Isekwe. Barrister, welcome to TMI. So this edition. Yeah, appreciate you coming.
Good morning. Have you had a happy meal?
All right. Pastor Delek Benido, I want to come to you. Now, Money still maintained, he said that, look, no matter what you say, no matter how you view it, the Labour Congress have the interest of the populace at heart, and what they are showing the government of the day is like a yellow card, that if you go ahead with this, this is what is going to happen. Will this threat by the TUC and the NLC and their affiliates, is it going to make the federal government to shift ground when you talk about subsidy removal?
Well, I think his analysis was great. But it broke my heart. I have to say that with due respect. It was great. It was eloquent. It was articulate, but it broke my heart. At the point where he said, in all great economies, private sector controls the economy, and if Nigeria makes transparent laws for certain people to control the economy, and then what's wrong with that? Employment is provided. I didn't quite. That didn't sit well with me, with due respect. It didn't sit well with me, because I know that when we talk about transparent laws in Nigeria, it's anything but transparent. Years ago, I had a client who came during President Jonathan's time. He had given out permits for, I think, about 5 companies to produce cement, so as to flood the Nigerian market with cement and let the price of cement crash. But somehow, they were all muzzled up, and only one was able to remain. So where you had a potentiality of 5 companies supplying cement, with that increased supply, definitely price would have come down. So that is the sort of transparency that we have in Nigeria. Now, I'm not against any particular individual, but I also know one of those who had that oil cement permit ended up in hospital. In fact, he had to sell all his cement consignment and all the equipment to somebody else so that he could just, in fact, not die. You know, because when his consignment came to the wharf, somehow customs seized it, you know, for one reason or the other, and everything was utilized to ensure that others did not survive. I'm trying to
frustrate others.
To frustrate others, to ensure that they didn't survive, and somehow one company would survive. And recently, we also had a problem in the northern part of Edo, where you had this company producing cement and somebody else coming to say you cannot produce cement. And the government of the day in Edo seemed to have supported one side. It seemed to have seemingly.
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 Okay, not completely, not fully, or not seemingly. Okay, fine. Let's work with seemingly.
Until these two gladiators had to go back to Kano to resolve the difference. That's okay. Well, you allow, and that was how it was resolved on the table. You know, perhaps because both of them had access to Kano. If one had no access to Kano, perhaps that issue would not have been resolved. So this is sort of transparent table for business to control the economy that we have. And that is where I believe that sometimes it doesn't sit too well with some of us, a little bit. We may have a small, still voice, but with our small voice, we still say it doesn't sit well with us, you know. Right. If you democratize the economy, which is what we agitate, if you democratize the economy, you find out that the economy will be fueled, goods and services will come in from different, and this is what is done everywhere in advanced countries. You democratize the economy. You don't strangulate it for the benefit of a chosen anointed one or two. You democratize it. You democratize it.
Are you not saying that this is the basis for this squabble we are going through?
It's a basis for it, because like has been rightly said, at the end of the day, we have certain people who are saying they are building the biggest refineries, they are going to flood everywhere with, and at the end of the day, it will still play into their pocket. Otherwise, why would the Nigerian government at this point be contemplating this satanist idea, with due respect?
Well, to them it's not satanic idea.
No, to me
it's to save the economy.
Well, The economy is already, as it is, saved. We find out that we have the lowest, per capita as we speak. The value of the power of the currency, Nigerian naira, is very low. There's huge unemployment. Inflation is at its highest. So they are really doing a great job in saving the Nigerian economy.
All right, I'll come back to you, Barrister Dele Bilejo. I'll come back to you. Barrister Patrick, I believe that you heard them while they were talking about, the Labour Congress, the NBA, you just name it, the fuel subsidy. I believe that you have your own opinions on this. Go ahead. Yeah. Express your views.
Yeah, I think I heard them very well, and I also smile. You see, I think over a year or two, I've said it severally, not just the first, because I don't want to please anybody. I've said it that Ayuba being president of NLC is a fraud. He can't do anything. They're going to be
I take exception to that. You can't have this seat here and be talking about my president or that.
Gentlemen,
I can't proceed. But it is your right. I can't sit here and have you insult the president of Nigeria Labour Congress.
No,
I can't sit here.
Please, hold on.
It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it.
I am the anchor. Even if it's your opinion, you don't have the right to say that the president is a fraud.
It's okay. Let me say, I will do that statement.
Thank you for joining.
I'm saying that I'm here for serious talk. I'm not here for play.
Okay.
I have been around TV for the past 25 years.
All right.
I let that come. I know what it is. So I'm not into the game.
You can use a different word.
I'll refrain it. The man that just left here now, the other colleague that just left here. That moment the government has, I was involved myself, Dr. Bariwana and Oshomole.
Barrister Patrick,
but I'm coming to you.
Barrister Patrick, this is not about personality. Please
yes. So no personality. Yes.
No
so
personalities.
Now what I'm trying to say is that I've said it severally.
Yes.
That for us to move forward, that the NLC is able to play the role they are meant to play as recognized by the people, which we saw under Oshomole time to Obasanjo. When Labour speaks, they're like lion. When they roar, everybody shakes quietly. When Oshomole tells you 2 days, 2 next week we're going on strike, we'll shut down. They will do it. They don't boast. But on that, Ayuba, my friends, it's a product, it's a station of Aso Rock. You know IMH. I watched it live on television when the election was going on. 2 factions. At the end of the day, they went back, Oshomole supported him from Aso Rock candidate. Wait now.
How does it affect the
removal?
Yes, please, how does it affect it? It's coming to the issue.
The foundation that they have. That's what is affecting us. You don't expect a man who, like we said, you have different support from different angle. It's the candidate of Asoro Oshomole backed him. That's the point. That's why I said Labour Congress is a section of government house, Asoro. You expect such a man not to do anything meaningful? No way. Because of his sympathy, he has a tie. I have sympathy, you can't do anything. He has a tie. But if the election would have been from free will, from no pressure, it's not possible to anybody. Severally, Oshomole organized a strike, we are aware so many times. But have you ever taken any? Whenever they raise the issue of a strike under Ayuba, I laugh at it. Severally, I laugh because at the end I said, not Ayuba. No strike, nothing will happen. I'm telling you, not under Ayuba, not Ayuba. Severally, they raise, I don't laugh at it. Why are you laughing? I said, what, 2 a.m. when yesterday don't change the position. Midnight. They'll tell you, you will both a strike. By 2 a.m., they'll change it. Because it's loyal to the presidency. So it's such a man to go on strike. So until Ayuba is impeached, the Labour Congress cannot move forward.
All right, now this is where I'll allow Money Mike to react to, because right now, like what I said before, it's not about personality, but you are dragging this man into
that's the way you're meant.
No, you're talking about his tie with the federal government, the rest of them. So Money Mike, take it up from there.
Well, in as much as I don't want this studio to be extremely hot,
yes,
I want to maintain decorum. And if you wouldn't mind, I had expected you to ask for apology.
He has already withdrawn the statement. He did that.
The ventilation, ventilation that is heaping,
that
is heaping on Ayuba Waba.
Is this issue?
Hold on.
Just hold on.
Barrister Patrick, he has the floor.
You had your floor. And now,
you interrupted me too now.
This is his own turn.
Please. You are talking here of Nigerian Labour Congress and not Ayuba Waba. Ayuba Waba is not Nigeria Labour Congress. You are a lawyer. You know that Ayuba Waba is not Nigeria Labour Congress. With all due respect to you, let's maintain that decorum. No matter how angered we are, let's have some restraint, please, so that we don't get this misquoted. Hold on. That is why initially, even myself who is seated here, I said subsidy removal is a no. Is that not so?
Yeah.
So let's. Ayuba Waba is doing his second tenure. He has been NLC president for many years. President Muhammadu Buhari is doing his second tenure. We re-elected President Buhari. The workers re-elected Ayuba Waba. Ayuba Waba, as far as the workers' centralized union is concerned, is leading the NLC, and the NLC is saying, let there be protest on the 27th. And before he came, I had mentioned to you, to the best of my knowledge, that protest is a kind of a yellow card.
Yellow card, yes, you said that.
And if government functionaries, both at the state and at the national level, are now reaching out to labor councils and the central labor organization, I also mentioned it. It's not cast in iron. We need to discuss. We have put a point across, and we are mobilizing. The mobilization is thorough, I can tell you that. And I had earlier called on the professional groups to also throw in their weight by making pronouncements, ferocious pronouncements. So I should be seeing that all of us are drawing the same rope. No matter the reservations we may have about individuals or these organizations of labor, there is a way we may also be able to, on our own, reach out to some of these people to say, no, this is how we feel about this. Maybe this is one of the medium. You feel you can ventilate your own. That's why you are doing what you are doing. You are entitled to your opinions, my brother. Now, let's come to the issues the way I see them to be. There is no amount of ferocious energies that we decide to aggregate here today that we be able to assuage the real feeling of our people as far as this vexatious issue of subsidy removal is. Whether anybody is playing any pranks on the ground in the name of any organization or individually, they are underground games. I'm only just thinking out loud. I'm not conceding that there are underground games. We will not be able to upturn the will of the people. But the people are being mobilized. And the people must be ready to mobilize.
All right.
If you have been asked to mobilize and you are refusing to mobilize, when I say the people, the high, the mighty, and the low, let's come together. Speak out with one voice. If we are not doing it under the umbrella of NLC or TUC, we can do it as professional groups, as individuals.
All right.
Even the youths can decide to just legitimately.
Yes. Money Mac, you just hold on. You continue with your train of thought.
Okay.
After this, gentlemen, I want to caution, please, we don't attack personalities. Please, Barrister Patrick, I know you're like, Nigeria must move forward. I know, but you have to please follow rules and regulations governing the airwaves, okay? But you already retracted your comment. When we return, we'll continue this discussion. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI talking about the last part of it for today. Yeah, it's all about subsidy removal and NLC, Nigerian Civil Society Organization, STAR, talking about the impact of their study. Is it going to have any effect in the decision of the government of the day? That is what we're here talking about, and it's been like fireworks, emotions, and like, here and there. We have to do our best possible to contain the emotions. Yes, this is quite emotional, but we have to watch our emotions because we are on air. Millions are watching. And don't forget the rules and regulations governing the airwaves. Money Mike, we were with you before we went on that break. Go ahead. But Sir Patrick, calm down.
I'm not finished my conclusion.
I know. I'll come to you.
I'm still off my...
I know. I'll come to you. Just calm down, please. So, Money Mike, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Wilson, for the privilege. Right. I guess I'm protected because yes, whatever goes up, as we used to say, certainly will come down. I'm highly optimistic that a lot of dividends will come out of this labor and civil society agitation. That is not to say that all hands must not be on deck. All hands must be on deck because only labor cannot even fight the fight. The struggle is a struggle for all Nigerians, both the high, the middle, and the low. You see one thing, if, for instance, it is even agreed that fuel will not sell for 180 or 200, for any minimal or maximum increase that occurs, it has a snowballing effect, catastrophic effect on wherever the economy will look like, in both the provision of goods and services. That is why it has become very, very inevitable that all groups, professional groups, artisans, market men and women, even those who are in the political class, they should be able to reason together and ensure that this government's thinking does not materialize. Because if it does happen now, the time is not just appropriate. If it does happen now, even top up by 2 or 3 naira, additional 2 or 3 naira, it will be tantamount to taking a million steps backward as far as the pockets of Nigerians will be concerned.
All right, Barrister Patrick, I believe that you're never calm right now. Barrister, I'll come to you. Just I really want you to take out time to calm down because the way you came in, it's like too hot. Too hot. Hope you're calm right now. All right, go ahead.
I'm already. My dear comrade here, dear comrade, I know as a comrade, I think it is natural you defend your own to say what you know because he is part of that place. So it's natural. I'm not that is some position which I understand. I understand very well. Yes. So like someone, as I said, what is the chief? The told to be the main, the anchor man in this issue of labor or issue of it. It's Nigerian Labour Congress, which want to coordinate with other pressure groups, so that NBA, other professional bodies, they coordinate. During the time of Oshomole, once he comes, I talk to them, go out because they believe in him. They are out immediately. So, but the issue is that this Ayuba is a man, myself, I don't understand. You understand me too? I cannot join the house with a man I don't trust. That's the truth of the matter. So,
but many people trust him.
Yeah, that's what that's for them. So, what I'm trying to say is that, it's based on his antecedents. Since he came in, how many strategies has he taken to replace government policies since he came in? It was not the debate they had at the end of the nothing till today. So, this one will not be an exception. It will not be an exception.
That's from your own observation.
No problem. So the issue is that it is the role that Labour plays that will move everything. It is the Labour. That is the workers' union. The rest people try to kind of influence, with them. But they have a role to play. But if the Labour Congress decide to treat the issue with levity, to take the other way around, I assure you the federal government will have their way. That's the truth of the matter. Because what federal government will tell you, even before Buhari came in, this government came into power. Federal government came into power. He said the issue of subsidy is not yet going to, was against it. So how many years in government? Almost 6 years. Is it now that? So because he know that if he remove the subsidy, there's going to be implication. But if he let the subsidy remain, than to say you remove the subsidy, we won't see the money. Price will price will go up so high. If the nothing is removed, a lot of things will go up. I know there are going to be gains, but the gains there, the disadvantage will be more than advantage. Naturally, everything will skyrocket. Just like my money market, which economy, you know what I'm talking about. Not just inflation, hyperinflation.
Yes.
Everywhere. At the end of the day, the CCD saw that the economy is still bad, no money. Then the poor man in the street will be suffering buying bread. The bread you buy for 400 naira, you cannot buy for 1,500. The rent you pay for just a room probably 5,000, you not pay for 20,000. That's how we invest. Government with their normal song. I'm not against the issue of federal governments not try to democratize the economy by giving license to other people to do that. But it's also a problem for the federal government. How is it possible? Federal government are not ready to do that because, let me not mention it like you say, I'm not mentioning it. But you see the federal governments, there are about 4 or 5 people that control this economy. 4 or 5, I will only mention one like Dangote. Let me not mention the other, they are there. They control the economy. When during the presidential fundraising, how much did you give? These people donated millions of dollars to the election campaign. So you don't expect, so you must have the pressure of the president to protect the economy. because they invested so much on the election. So that's such a person who donated $1 million to a particular, the president has eyes, he's a human being. That's why you see they control everything, one man control everything. It's not, it's not because his connection is closer with the government. That is not the truth of the matter. So, Ayuba should sit tight, the Labour Congress, should sit tight and play their role for what they are meant for. If they play their role, things will work well. Federal government, they will checkmate them, they can't do anything because they are scared of the Labour Congress. It's the Labour Congress. If the Ayuba comes out and say, oh, all the state mass, this is, we are out there. No, you don't, yeah, we're out there, but if not ready to play this, you'll just be singing songs. Yeah, like I said, keep on talking, no action. Federal government will have their way.
Okay, over to you, Barrister Dele.
Okay, well, I would like to adopt a different strategy in addressing this issue at this point, having regards to the fireworks. I would like to respectfully take the federal government down memory lane to appeal to the president to remember that just a few years ago, if we can call it yesterday, he led protest against increase in
fuel pump price. Yeah.
I just wish to respectfully remind him, he can decide to increase it and let the country burn if the country wants to burn. The common man will suffer. But he can also graciously, with a humane heart, remember that a few years ago, he was on the other side. And he should how do they say, is it physician heal thyself? Or he should take a leaf from his own history of demonstration and put himself on the other side again, not to increase the pump price of fuel again, because he cannot be inconsistent. He cannot approbate and reprobate. He cannot a few years ago have demonstrated, and then a few years down the road, he's now the one against whom people want to demonstrate on the same subject matter. So I want to personally appeal. I don't know if appeal will work. if appeal will work. I want to appeal. Yeah. The Nigerian people have suffered so much. The president, because of his peculiar sites of office now, the National Assembly members, because of their peculiar sites of office, the governors, because of their peculiar sites, is it peculiar site or peculiar site? I don't know again. They may not realize it again because they are not feeling it. They are not buying fuel. They're not
paying house rent.
They're not paying house rent. So they don't feel that the people are really suffering. People are. If you see the level of desperation of Nigerian youths to survive at all costs, including murdering girls and other people now, is becoming
so rampant.
In fact, they no longer feel it. Yesterday I was reading of this lady who went to a tradomedicalist and he just butchered her because 30,000 naira.
We don't want to paint such gory image on air, please. Please,
I'm sorry.
Let's be guarded, please.
I apologize.
Yes.
But Nigerians are desperate. They look for money in all ways, in all means, at all costs. Because how do you feel if you wake up in the morning and by 2 p.m. you have not had breakfast?
No breakfast.
You have not had breakfast. So that is the condition that the Nigerians are. Unfortunately, Nigerians have been unable to help themselves. And I say this because when it comes time for election, they are unable to take an independent opinion. They are swayed by Indomie and a little bit of naira here and there and all that. And so, that they are swayed by that. They are swayed by even akara. This is a big cake. You put a woman on ring road to be giving free a frying and giving free akara. People don't eat, they cannot vote.
It's not become a condition of this of the economy that's making them to do what they're doing.
Yes. The problem is that if you you have to sow in order to reap. And what we are reaping today, people more realize it, is what they sowed yesterday. It's what they sowed. So if we have to reap something different in future, we must change our sowing. And the way you sow politically, the way you sow economically, is when you are electing people to represent you. Right now, we have people at the National Assembly. None of them is speaking for the people, for Nigerian people. No, none of them. None of them. Recently, they are talking about electoral, whether there should be direct, permanent, or indirect. In other words, taking again from the people their rights, their franchise, and giving it to a select few to decide for the people. So, and these people who are taking these decisions, there's no repercussion, there's no consequence, because nobody from their constituency will hold them accountable to say, why did you take that decision? So it's a terrible situation that we are in as a nation. But I want to ally with we can't disagree on everything, comrade. The man with 4 names, Modestu, Itua, 5 names, chairman or something. So, we can't disagree. I want to ally with him by being optimistic. By being optimistic that, Nigerians can rise up to the occasion. Nigerians, our representatives can rise up. They can begin to reason now that because they are unable to go back to their villages, they are afraid. Many of them cannot go back to their homes. They are afraid. They prefer to stay in Abuja because they feel ensconced. But they cannot hide, because if we who are villagers cannot live in peace in our villages, I'm sure they too cannot live in peace wherever they go to.
All right.
So we are appealing to the president. We are appealing to the NLC. We are appealing to the TUC. We are appealing to the NBA. NBA on its own should be more people friendly. There's too much, and in saying this, I must also pinch my learned friend, who is one of the leaders of the NBA. They are too elitist.
Yes.
They are too elitist. They have become a society that is interested only in federal government contracts and all this. I once
Are you not a member of the NBA, sir?
No, I'm a member of the NBA. But let us say, I know they will not be happy with me, but it's good to say the greatest of our shows in NBA is our annual dinner, where we eat and we drink. That is when you see Mr. Sekweme taking pictures. And with due respect, sir, and I'm sorry, I know a lot of them may not be happy with me, but this is an opportunity to say, when it comes to...
No, he's not in trouble, please. He's not in trouble. He's speaking his mind right now. He's speaking his mind.
The greatest of our celebratory occasion is the annual dinner.
Yes.
Not our visit to prisons, not our visit to police stations, not our rendering of free legal services to people, not our getting together to discuss human rights. Those are not those things don't move us. What moves us is committees and meetings and all that. And now, like Mr. Modesti said, now that we have a critical national issue, the NBA ought to be at the forefront. But they will not be, because look at how we select our leaders.
All right, thank you.
So I'm also begging them.
Thank you. Thank you. Begging them.
All of them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mobilize us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Barrister Dele Binedio. He's not in trouble. No, he's not in trouble. No, he is covered. No. He spoke his mind. So, Barrister Patrick.
Nobody can put me in trouble for speaking my mind and saying the truth. Why is it that the only thing we celebrate, that's our annual conference?
Barrister Patrick.
Yes.
Over to you.
Yes.
The way forward, please, because our time is almost up.
The way forward. See,
yes.
Every activist, like I'm a member of an NBA, and when you talk about NBA politics, I'm involved. Like what that is true. I understand very well. For instance, we try on our own way. Activists always an activist. You don't need to wait for everybody. For instance, now there's a letter I wrote to prisons. It's called my experience I had last week. Very bad experience. December. Some prisoners. One of them even collapsed at the witness box. It collapsed in my presence. this escapees, I was representing some of the defendant there. Do you know that? And I said, what? Why? They say they've not eaten this money. They don't feed them. I said, what? It's only Gary. Why don't they collapse? Why don't they? The magistrate was forced as a mother to bring out 2,000 naira from her pocket to go and buy motors
for them to drink.
So funny enough, unluckily, the church did not open. So the magistrate says, okay, give the money to let them hold the hold the money because they have given it to them. The defendants, I mean those people.
The prisoner said no.
They said protested. They said no. Listen to this story. I have to think on here. He said no. Paris said no.
It did not get so wrong.
The magistrate said, please give it to them. I'm telling you life story.
Yes.
How funny Nigeria is.
That's the Nigeria we are.
Let me tell you, the melodrama.
I said no.
So when I finish the matter, as I live in the court of my fight to let me know my way apart, let me your work thing. Somebody was chatting to me, barrister, what do you mean hand? And I thought, one of them, he said, they're collecting the money from us. I said, what? So they don't have no conscience.
Imagine that.
What? Just
imagine that.
But not 3 days ago, listen now, sir, melodrama. With the Freedom of Information Act, we have 2011, and I wrote to the Prisoner Authority, controller, with about 5 questions to furnish me. What is the cost of feeding a prisoner? Why? How many times is he expected to feed? What is the federal government's amount? How does it come? They are not donors. Do you know when I said it, Smashman to give that letter? He just was the same with the read letter. After reading it, after 30 minutes, he said, I'm not collecting the letter. Listen to me, I won't collect it. I called the control of the Benin here. So after I called, I said, you are true, let me have the acknowledgement. He said, Gasa, let her deal with me. After reading it, they said, no, collect again. I said, my friend, what? There's a way you can sign some of the legal letter. I said, go there, go back to that very place, throw it out there, and come back. So I said, merely just go there. They said they were monitoring him, the CCTV camera. Monitoring him. When he got right, they said they blocked all the everywhere is locked. You can't see anybody, they're not available. Go. As the guy threw the something at them, as I directed. As we're going, they're not chasing. They're chasing. Oh boy. I'm telling you. All right, so time. So that's to tell you the type of country you are. This is a special part.
Thank you, thank you,
gentlemen. A little way.
Yes, you can. Thank you so much, Money Mike. I know you have a lot to say, but our time is up. So sorry about it. Don't get 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Final thoughts. 30 seconds.
Let me use diamond opportunity.
Okay.
To thank learned counsel, Delegadio. For finding it worthy to return to my territory. May God bless you. Truth will never depart from you.
Thank you. Well, you've heard them. Though at the end, we laughed at the beginning, it wasn't like this. It was like, fireworks, emotions are like, high. But the truth must be said. Without subsidy, is it what we need right now? Think about it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to today's show. I appreciate a wonderful analysis. See you next week, Sunday, God willing. Bye for now.